It's hard not to laugh. Is this a joke? Is this a social experiment? You just got Dylan Gabriel late in the third round. What are the Brownies doing? The Browns are proving yet again why they are the dumbest franchise I've ever seen. Hold on. I'm having to do a double take here. Okay, making sure this wasn't some troll like that video of the kid prank calling Shedeur from the Saints. If you haven't seen that, we're probably going to do a reaction video to that. There's been another video leaked out, but that's besides the point. It's official. I'm looking at it right now in the office. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Shedeur Sanders, the man that met the legend himself, the son of Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, Prime Time, whatever you want to call him, has just been drafted by the Cleveland Brownies. Clap it up. Clap it up. What are the Brownies doing? We're going to get to that in just a second. This is my immediate reaction. We're probably going to talk about this later tonight. Tomorrow, be on the lookout for that. Wow. It was a long time coming. For a second, I thought he was going to go undrafted. He didn't get selected in the fourth round. I'm like, oh, yeah. This is where crap could hit the fan. You got all these Randeezys getting selected. But here it is. It's official. He got drafted. Better late than never, I guess. First and foremost, before we go any further, I want to say congratulations to Mr. Shedeur Sanders. I'm happy for you, brother. I hope you enjoy this day. It's a special moment, a day you'll never forget, and I'm happy for the entire Sanders family. Shout out to my man Shiloh. Shout out to Bucky, which is Well Off Media. He runs that channel, and he is very nice to let us use some of the video footage on his channel. We're probably going to be using it in this video. What was the actual pick? I know it was the 5th round, but okay. The 144th overall pick. I speak for everybody when I say this. We didn't see it coming. Nobody in their right mind expected Shedeur Sanders to fall out of the 2nd and 3rd round, but especially the 4th round. Yesterday, the word I used to describe him not getting selected on day 2 was unfathomable, and it's still unfathomable. I've covered the draft for a very long time. I've never seen anything quite like this. It is, and this is going to be the word of today's video, stunning. The entire situation from start to finish. Him not getting selected on Thursday, somewhat surprising, but I did understand that. Yesterday, head scratching to say the least. And then today, he gets passed up in the 4th round, but finally in the 5th round, the Brownies, they take him. Heading into this draft, you wouldn't say there were a lot of question marks about Shedeur, but by the 3rd or 4th round, with him still not being selected, yeah, there was question marks. It's like, wait a minute. Why does nobody like him? Why does nobody want him? What is going on? There's been a lot of rumors going on that they don't like his attitude. He's cocky, arrogant, and I've touched on some of that stuff, but I don't think it's just as simple as that. There's multiple different reasons as to why he fell this far. We've talked plenty about it. I'm not going to go on a complete rant and tyrant. If you haven't seen some of the previous videos, feel free to check them out for yourself. We go over it in full detail and depth. I tweet this out. If you don't follow the Twitter, feel free to do so. Give you guys updates, tweet out during the draft. Great pick. And I do think it's a great pick. I don't think you can argue that there's a better bang for your buck than Shedeur Sanders, what many people regarded as a first, worst case scenario, 2nd round pick. You're getting him late in this draft, early in the 5th round. Doesn't get too much better than that. But, and I have an enormously large, astronomically big but, here's where things get controversial and they get wishy-washy. Although it was a great pick in itself, the Browns are proving yet again why they are the dumbest franchise I've ever seen. I mean, what are we doing? You just got Dylan Gabriel late in the 3rd round. Why are you getting 2 quarterbacks? And it's not even like they need quarterbacks. Have you seen their quarterback room? Don't they have Joe Flacco? I know they got Deshaun Watson as well. And Kenny Pickett. What is this quarterback room? Deshaun Watson, Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel, Kenny Pickett, and Shedeur Sanders. I'm not going to scream. I'm not going to yell. I would just love for one of you in the comment section or anybody to please explain to me, what are the Brownies doing? I thought I was being punked. It's hard not to laugh. Is this a joke? Is this a social experiment? I know I've said it 4,000 times in this video. I'm going to say it again. What are the Brownies doing? Although I love the pick, like I said, in itself, getting Shedeur in the 5th round, Everything else they've done this draft and everything else they're currently doing with this team doesn't make a lick of sense. If it wasn't bad enough that you traded away, I don't care they got Mason Graham, you traded away the opportunity to get a generational player and Travis Hunter, you now do this. I know we're here to talk about Shedeur, but the Browns are a laughingstock. You can't convince me otherwise. They're a joke. I feel like they got to be doing this on purpose. It almost leaves me speechless. Here's another thing we need to talk about. I don't think I'm getting way too ahead of myself here. Shedeur Sanders can, I'm not going to say easily, but he can win the starting quarterback job. He's better than Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett sucks. Joe Flacco, he's 50 years old. Dylan Gabriel, not very good. I'd take Shedeur Sanders over Dylan Gabriel right now. Deshaun Watson, yeah, athletic, but he has so many off-the-field problems, injuries. Shedeur Sanders can't be QB1. Will it happen? Don't know. There's a lot of obstacles he's going to have to overcome. I'd say his biggest obstacle right now is Dylan Gabriel, because by default, he is going to be behind Gabriel on the depth chart because they are giving Gabriel more money than Sanders, and this is how it works. When you have more skin in the game with a certain player, he's going to get more opportunities. Sanders, he's going to be fighting to even be on this roster, now that I think about it. It's crazy that I just talked about, yeah, he can win the starting job, but at the same time, he can easily find himself on the practice squad. I'm rooting for him. I'm wishing the best of luck. I think he's going to be just fine. Although I'd prefer him, just for his sake, to go to a better organization and franchise. We can't really argue about that. We can't change it. He's going to the Brownies. I don't think you need me to sit up here for the next 10 to 15 minutes and go on a rant and tangent about how crazy it is that Shedeur Sanders fell this far. It goes without being said. Even if you hate this guy, you didn't see this coming. He is one of the most polarizing quarterbacks I've ever covered. You either love him or hate him. There's no in between. There's no gray area. There's not a middle ground. However, don't lie to yourself. You didn't expect this. You didn't think he was going to fall to the 5th round. And with this happening, it needs to get talked about more. You're going to have casuals out here that go, okay, it's cool. He fell to the 5th round, so what? He's got an opportunity. He's got a shot. At least he didn't go undrafted. He's going to the Browns. He can win this thing. And all those things are true. However, there's a big downside to being selected in the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th round and being an undrafted free agent. Here's what I'm talking about. When you aren't selected in the first 3 to 4 rounds, you're already behind the 8 ball. It goes back to what I just talked about a little bit earlier. These teams, I mean, Shedeur Sanders' contract, he might only be making like $800K. I can't remember exactly how much a 5th round pick makes, but it's not going to be around the $3 million per year range. His entire contract might only be $3 to $4 million for like 3 to 4 years. So he's going to be making, let's just, nice even number, say $1 million per year. Well, when a team is only giving a quarterback that much, they don't really care to not give him opportunities, not give him legit chances, and more times than not we see this happen, they don't care to cut him in year 1 or year 2 because it's only a couple $1 million. However, with a guy like, I'm not even going to say Cam Ward, let's say Jackson Dart, who went to the New York Giants, they are going to give Dart every opportunity in the world whenever it's time for him because they're paying him. I don't know the exact details of his contract, but I assume it's somewhere around late 1st round pick. He's probably getting around in total $20 to $25 million. Whereas Shedeur, like we just talked about, at max is only going to be getting $3 to $4 million. You see the difference? What is an example I can use to give y'all a better perspective so people like me and you can relate? I'm trying to think of a good example. Sorry, guys. I just can't think of one that is really relatable. But I think all of you understand. I'm trying to think of a good example, and I'm drawing a blank. But hopefully you guys understand the point I'm trying to get across. The farther back you're drafted equals less skin in the game. Less skin in the game equals less opportunities. In other terms, these teams don't care about 5th, 6, 7 round picks, whatever. And sadly but surely, that is the biggest obstacle that Shedeur faces. Not that he'll be maybe QB4 or QB5 when he gets there. It's the fact that they drafted him so late. His opportunities are going to be minuscule. I'd actually go as far as saying this. I would be shocked if he even wins the backup job for the Cleveland Browns. I'm telling you, it is going to be so difficult for Shedeur. He is fighting an uphill battle that a lot of players, 99% of the time, they lose. I call it the circle of death. A lot of times what happens is these players go from practice squad to the roster, practice squad to the roster, and it just goes back and forth for weeks and weeks and months and months and months. Then that team, the Browns, they'll trade them to this team, and they go to like 7 to 8 teams within 2 years. Eventually, they go to the CFL, which is the Canadian Football League. They go overseas, and then their career's over. It's not just in the NFL, it's in the NBA as well. A big reason a lot of these athletes and your star players are successful is because of the situation they were brought into. I've said this since I've started covering sports. I'll continue to say it because I firmly believe it. Whatever team you get drafted to plays a huge role in whether or not you're going to be successful in this league. Not taking anything away from Patrick Mahomes. He's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, but a main reason he is so successful is because he went to the Chiefs. If Mahomes would have went to the Cleveland Browns, do you really think he would have had as great as a career as he's currently having? I don't think so. Same thing with Tom Brady. Give credit to Mahomes and Brady. It's a classic example. It's not lucky. I hate when people say luck. It's when preparation meets opportunity. And I know everyone's going to try to compare it. Oh, well, Tom Brady got selected with the 199th overall pick, and look how he turned out. He's the greatest of all time. Do you understand how lucky he got? If Drew Bledsoe never gets hurt, there may not even be a Tom Brady. A lot of things had to go his way for him to turn out the way he did. And not just Bledsoe getting hurt, but also him playing for a great coach in Bill Belichick. The Patriots also had a great organization at the time. That's what I'm talking about. The little things that players can't control. If you're Shedeur Sanders, you can't control if the Cleveland Browns have a terrible offensive line and trade away your star wide receiver. Those are the things I'm talking about. This is just my immediate reaction. This will not be the last time I talk about this. Happy for Shedeur yet again. Great pick for the Browns, although they've screwed up the entire draft as a whole. Let me know your thoughts down below. But